Boston. Kaveh Afrasiabi is a political scientist and author of the book Trump and Iran: From Containment to Confrontation. In our Washington studio is Barbara Slavin, the director of the Future of Iran Initiative at the Atlantic Council. Also with us is Abbas Khadim, the director of the Iraq Initiative, also at the Atlantic Council. And from Pennsylvania, the co-founder and leader of the U.S. Tea Party movement, Michael Johns. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Kaveh, let me begin with you. Many see this as the most significant escalation since the 1979 hostage crisis. Is this, in fact, a game changer?
I certainly think so. President Trump, his hands are stained with the blood of 10 martyrs, 5 from Iran, 5 from Iraq, may resort to any shenanigan trying to justify his unilateral act of war against Iran, but that's not going to wash with anyone, particularly with millions of Iranians who throughout Iran are now mourning the loss of their national hero, who was a selfless, dedicated, humble soldier for the cause of the nation for the past 40 years. And this crime, this unprovoked crime by the United States will not go unpunished, and the Iranians have vowed to retaliate, and they will do so at the time and place of their own choosing. And this is what President Trump has provoked, and now, you know, he will wait for the blowback. And that will be coming before too long. I assure you of that, because I know the spirit of the Iranian people, and there's a preamble in the Islamic constitution that talks about the sapling soul of the revolution that is nurtured by the blood of martyrs.
All right, Kaveh, let me
no more precious martyr than General Soleimani, who was murdered in cold blood in the hands of the Americans.
Barbara, no doubt in the West that Soleimani was not exactly an angel. This is a bad person. He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of people, Americans, Syrians, Iraqis, as well as Iranians. You wrote an op-ed in the New York Times. You said, yes, he's the bad guy, but that's not the point. Revenge is not a strategy. Explain that to us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can go back to history.
Excuse me, I find that so offensive that you're supposed to be neutral.
Kaveh, it's Barbara's turn. We will come back to you.
You belittle a national hero like that. I'm going to walk out of your goddamn program.
Excuse me.
It's offensive to the Iranians
Kaveh,
that you belittle a national hero like this.
This is something that is widely believed in the West, that he is responsible for thousands of deaths.
And that glamorous journalist has broadcast that to the world as well. This is shameful.
Can we continue our discussion so you can actually chime in some more, or are you going to walk off the set and be disrespectful to our guests sitting in the studio?
Can
Barbara, yes, go ahead and respond.
Look, actually what I was about to say was that the United States turned Qasem Soleimani into an enemy in 2003 in Iraq. In fact, the Quds Force helped the United States overthrow the Taliban after the September 11 attacks. But the fact remains that the Quds Force has supported a number of groups that, as you say, have killed over 600 American troops in Iraq, have killed thousands of people in Syria and in other places. So he's was definitely a controversial figure. However, revenge, as I wrote, is not a strategy, which means that I don't think the Trump administration considered the consequences of this action for U.S. national interests, for the interests of U.S. allies in the region. Iran will retaliate, and it will pick a place and a time of its choosing. And more disturbing, and my colleague Abbas will talk about this, the United States has put Iraq in a completely untenable position where it cannot have 5,000 U.S. troops remaining there. The other factor that I think we have to consider is what this means